Hey everybody, this is Wayman Daniels from Level Up. We have a very special guest today by the name of Savon Holt, entrepreneur, life coach, and author of a great book. I'm waiting for her to come on right now. I'm going to just tell you a little bit about Level Up. Level Up is a podcast that wants to build and to encourage others to be the best that they can be. So when you listen to Level Up, I hope you get something out of it that would motivate you and let you see that you can achieve what you set out to do. A dream is just a dream if you only dream. So now make your dreams come true by walking towards your dream and putting forth the application to make them come true. Again, my name is Wayman Daniels. I'm the host of Level Up. I'm looking forward to the special guest coming today, Savon Holt, entrepreneur, life coach, and author. It's going to be a great show. And then leave your comments below and let me know what you think about it. But also, you can watch Level Up on YouTube. Simply dial or type in my name, Wayman, Waymon Daniels, Level Up, and see past podcasts. For the future, we have WYTV Channel 7 coming up Tuesday, where I was interviewed for my story. You don't want to miss that. I will post that this Tuesday on the 5th of April. WYTV Channel 7 interview of my story. I guess you guys have heard a little bit about my story and you see where I'm at now, but understand it has been a long journey. From being homeless, sleeping in abandoned houses, eating out of trash cans, nowhere to go, strung out on drugs, getting high, gang activity, going to prison. I don't tell my story too often, but when I do tell it, I tell it for a reason to let people know that you might have family members that went through the same thing that I have went through, or gone through rather. But I want to show you that they can make it as well. Remember, homelessness, eating out of trash cans, living below the poverty level, no high school diploma, drugs, heroin, angel dust, crack cocaine, and go to prison for 7 years. But look at what God has done. He took me from the pit and put me on solid ground. I have my own business called Open Mic Communication, Leadership Strategist. Been on several platforms to speak, television, radio, in the process of writing my book. And I just want you to know that you can make it. We're still waiting on my guest, Savon Holt. She will be here soon, but I wanted to tell you that to encourage you. We have future guests coming on next week. Richard McCullough will be on here next week. And after Richard McCullough, Natasha Holding will be on as well. But I have a great special guest for you right now, Miss Savannah Holt. Welcome to Level Up.
Hi.
How are you? All right, we like your enthusiasm, so let's get this party started. Are you
All right.
ready? All right, so Miss Savannah, let's talk about who Savannah Holt is as the person. Tell us about her.
Savon is a 36-year-old female who resides here in Rochester, New York. I have a 18-year-old son. I am a licensed practical nurse, and I've been serving the Rochester community for 11 years as a LPN. And I
Okay.
also have a bachelor's in health administration and finishing up my master's at RIT in health systems management.
So you're getting your master's, LPN, and have an 18-year-old son. Now let's
Hmm.
talk about your son because I think he just got his license not too long ago. Tell us about that.
Yes, driving me crazy. So he has my car more than I do. He has it now. So I've been home all day because he takes the
Okay.
vehicle when he gets ready. He's definitely exploring the world right now.
Okay. And so now we talked about you and LB and LPN. And so what is it like being a single parent and trying to pursue your vision and your purpose while being a single parent? How is that?
It's difficult. Just like, for example, today I had to take a 4 hour exam, and my son had a banquet that I had to miss. So it takes some sacrificing, um,
Mm-hmm.
being a single parent to try to get to where you're trying to go.
Mm-hmm.
But those sacrifices will pay off. So that's how I try to look at it. Right now, like I said, my son is 18. These are
Mm-hmm.
moments that I can't get back, but I also
Okay.
know that, I'm striving for us to make it on a different level. So the sacrifice
Okay.
is necessary.
So you're making a lot of sacrifices because previously you said 11 years you have been serving the Rochester community. So at probably at 8 years old, vision and purpose was pushing you, and also being a parent. Now that had to be pretty hard because being a single parent and then vision and purpose is saying, "Listen, I have something for you to do." How did you
Mhm.
answer that call?
It's tough, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I get overwhelmed, but it's not about me. So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I try to look at things. Is it's not about me. Your purpose is to help other people, and that's
Okay.
what I strive to do. Whether it's being a listening ear, whether it's coaching someone, whether it's in a clinical setting, um, I just try to fulfill whatever God has me here for.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about this young man, this 18-year-old son of yours, being a single parent and seeing his mother pursue her vision and purpose. What types of words of encouragement does he give you? Because I know he has to be very proud of you because you're persevering, even though you're a single parent. I mean, you're doing a lot. What type of
Yeah,
words
he's
does he
he's
give you?
he's very
Mm-hmm.
understanding, and I don't want to. I'm a single parent,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely don't want to discredit. He has an active father in
Mm-hmm.
his life as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
um, but however, it's been me and him for some years. So,
Okay.
he definitely gives me my motivation. He inspires me. He definitely tells me, you can do it, and I'm hoping that I'm being a good role model for him, a good woman figure for him, showing him what a woman should be doing. Just a little outline of, what to look for in a woman, certain qualities. So I'm hoping that I'm being that good role model for him. He does salute me. He's there every step of the way. So I'm thankful. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I hear you now. You must got
Okay, I just
crickets, but I hear you.
yeah, no, I turned off my mic because I was getting someone said that I'm getting feedback from your side and I thought it was my mic. So I turned it off. And
Oh.
so I thought maybe my mic was interfering with you speaking. But now when you say salute and when you look at your 18-year-old son, we're going to stay with him for a minute. Does he ever say or does he ever tell you what he wants to pursue as a career by watching what you do?
Right now he's in the figuring out stage.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to figure out life. He just turned
Okay.
18.
Right.
College is up next, hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
but I definitely don't push him to
Okay.
that he has to go to college. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
would be a dream of mine, but this is his life. But I
Right.
definitely push on him either college or a trade or, going into being an entrepreneur, whatever his heart
Okay.
desire. I just ask that whatever he pursues, that he have a passion for it.
Okay, so now we about to shift. We just talked about your personal life. Now let's get into your business life. What is
You
Savon
being
Holt?
nosy? No,
I
just
am nosy. I'm very nosy. I'm gonna show
I'm
you. I
just
would show
playing.
you my awards for being nosy on the back wall. Because I did have an interview with Swag and Nosy, and we were being nosy together.
Just playing, just playing.
Yeah. So let's talk about Savon Holt, the entrepreneur, and let's talk about how did the idea or the name come up where Savon speaks? Where did that come from?
So that actually came after I wrote my book.
Okay.
Um, I felt like I had a lot to say.
Mm-hmm.
And I had connected with a business coach, and
Okay.
she had suggested that I started
Mm-hmm.
off with Savon Speaks if we couldn't think of a name,
Okay.
but a name that nobody else has.
Mm-hmm.
So not too many people have Savon. So that's where
Right,
we
right.
came up with Savon Speaks, to be
Okay.
able to incorporate my book into that, to be able to talk about
Mm-hmm.
my past experiences of where I've come from to where I'm at now, where I'm trying to go.
Okay.
So that's where Savon Speaks came from.
It came from the book called The Truth, I believe, right?
Well, it
Truth. This
was
is the truth.
inspired
Okay.
by the book,
Inspired. The name of the book was
My
something
Truth.
truth. Yeah, truth. Yeah, that's your personal pronoun, my truth. Yeah. So that book, My Truth, came from your personal experiences, right? So can
Yes.
you tell the viewers a little bit about this book? Because you said it came from your personal, but what does that personal experience entail?
So the reason why I named the book My Truth, Building the Foundation with the Rocks That Life Had Thrown at Me, was
Hmm.
because it's three sides to every story. It's my
Okay.
side, other people's side, then there's the truth. But I just
Okay.
tell from my perspective of things and
Hmm.
how I felt, my emotions and things that I went through. And it's my truth.
Okay.
And I built from that. A lot of people
Okay.
didn't know that I went through some of the stuff that I went through until my book came out.
Okay.
So I felt like I built my foundation on that to help me want to strive and do better, be better,
Hmm.
to tell my story, to be able to help somebody else. The thought came about during COVID when I was sitting home. I'm a homebody,
Okay.
so like
Okay.
when I was sitting home and I was just thinking to myself, and I'm like, some of the things that I've been through, I'm pretty sure other young women are going through the same thing, especially during the lockdown.
Hmm.
I'm sure molestation rates went up, rape rates went up, and it's
Okay.
people that's within your home. So I figured, like, let me be a voice for those who don't
Hmm.
have a voice at this moment.
Okay.
So I wrote my book in hopes that other people will be able to come forth and tell their truth to help save somebody else's life.
Okay. Now, Savon, you know I'm finna dig. Now I got my shovel. I'm very nosy. So I'm gonna do what I did with Swagger Nosy. Because when you said my truth to help other people deal with situations that you might have dealt with, we don't want to go into depths of whatever they are, but just give us some descriptions of what you might be talking about so that they can relate just a little bit. Because when you say things that you go through, I need more. You know what I mean? Something that's okay. This person might be dealing with it. Let me just tell that, but not too much of what your truth might be. But it's in your book, so just give us a little bit more details. When you say things that you went through, what were those things? Some of them.
So some of the things that I experienced, my mom was substance abuse
Okay.
abuser. My father wasn't in the picture until I got
Okay.
grown. My
Mhm.
grandparents raised me. I dealt with identity crisis of trying to figure out
Mhm.
who I am. Where did some of my traits come from?
Mhm.
Um, I dealt with molestation from
Okay.
cu- family members.
Okay.
I've also dealt with forced uh, sexual activities, I guess you would say.
Right. Okay.
Also dealt with things with my son as he was growing up,
Mhm.
um, dealing with, you know, people who had differences of
Mhm.
opinions. And I was young at that time. So
Mhm.
sometimes, people don't understand some of the words that they say to you. It sticks with
Right.
you.
Mhm.
Um, and people hold on to that. They might
Right.
not say nothing. They might, try to brush it off, but some things
Mhm.
stick with people for a very long time until that person
Right.
say, you know what, I'm tired. You're not going to hold storage in my head no more. You're not going to make me feel like this anymore until you just release
Mhm.
that. So those were some of the things that I had dealt with
Okay.
growing up and
Mhm.
into my early adulthood.
So that old adage, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words would never hurt me," is not true.
Oh, words hurt. It's power in the tongue.
Right, right, right. Because and some of the stuff that you were talking about, I can relate to a degree, because I was that drug addict dad. I was that prison dad. I was verbally abused as far as psychologically and everything else. You hear my story, you hear it. So I can relate to a lot of things that you're talking about. because I never knew my father whatsoever. I never heard his voice. I never saw his face. So I understand that thing and how it works. But I'm glad that you shared it because a lot of people are dealing with the things that we're dealing with, but don't talk about it. And I want
Right.
to applaud you for that. So thank you. And here's another question because how did you make it out of that? Because that's a lot to deal with at a young age.
I think it was a lot of just suppressing the
Mm-hmm.
feelings and the emotions, staying active,
Mm-hmm.
always staying busy and into stuff to keep your mind off of stuff.
Okay.
Um, Nobody, like, one of my cousins knew at the time,
Mm-hmm.
but and I don't know. I grew up to be like more of an introvert, which people probably don't
Mm-hmm.
think so
Mm-hmm.
because of Savon speaks.
Right.
But it takes a
Okay.
lot out of me to even do this because once we finish
Mm-hmm.
here, I got to detach and get my energy back. But
Yeah.
I think just suppressing it, and as I got older, just when
Mm-hmm.
people said that I couldn't, me telling myself that I could, or people
Mm-hmm.
telling me that you never gonna be her, or you never gonna be,
Mm-hmm.
and me just saying, you know what, yeah, I am,
You're right.
and then
Okay.
looking at where they at
Mm-hmm.
now to versus where I'm at now, it's like,
Right.
you basically jinx yourself.
Right. So basically, it is a. I don't want to say that because it's more than just a. It is a mindset to a degree, but it's an environment type thing in the psyche. And so, if I was a woman, which I'm not, and I was coming to you, and I was coming to one of your life coaches workshops, and I was dealing with some of these things, what would be some advice you would give me? What, because I'm struggling, but I'm looking to you for hope because I don't have any hope anywhere else. But yet I'm being distant because of the walls that I put up. But I want the hope. I like what you're saying. How would you help me? Because I came to one of your workshops. What would you say
Well,
to
I
me?
mean, I feel like, a lot of things start with confidence,
Mm-hmm.
and some things coaching can't help you with. Some things you have
Okay.
to go to counseling, get therapy for to help maneuver through
Mm-hmm.
some of the feelings that's been buried in. But one
Okay.
thing I try to let women know, to become her, become heroic, empowered, and
Mm-hmm.
redefined, meaning that, be heroic and tell your story, share your story, as far as the wall being up, it's okay to take those
Mm-hmm.
walls down sometimes and to empower
Okay.
people and to have people empower you and to come out feeling like a new person. A lot of times we go through the storm and we just sit there and we mope inside of the storm in that moment, not
Mm-hmm.
realizing that at the end of every storm is a rainbow, and then at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the storm is brighter days. You just got to get
Right.
through it, and a lot of people just don't know how. So we strategize on how to get through those moments, and especially like women, because I coach women,
Right.
we get lost.
Mm-hmm.
We're so busy being mothers, providers, wives,
Mm-hmm.
spouses, whatever, and we get lost and we forget about ourselves. We forget about what make us
Okay.
happy. We forget about our goals or our dreams, and it's times that we want to do things, but our kids got a sports to go to, or a recital, or anything. um
Mm-hmm.
so it's more like, a lot of women be like, oh, I want to write a book, but I've been scared.
Right.
I don't know what people
Mm-hmm.
might think of me. You have to stop worrying about how other people think of you.
Think about you.
That's
Right.
the
Right.
first start.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
um and just go for it. So we
Okay.
knock down those limited beliefs of you feeling like you can't, and I encourage you and let you know that you can.
Okay. Well, you opened up Pandora's box. What I mean by that, because I have so many questions running through my head right now pertaining to this. I'm trying to get off this subject, but I feel as though that you have been very beneficial to others because you've been there, done that. Your story, and we're talking about some of the things that you went through. But then again, Savon, here's something that a lot of people deal with, not just women, but men as well, where we have been hurt so many times, but we want to be loved, right? We want love. And so when we sit in our secret closet, we say we want to be loved, but we never exhibit love. To trust anyone to come into our lives because we're afraid of being hurt. How do you get past that hurdle? Because we've been hurt so many times and it has become such a pattern that we have become so callous to feelings and emotions. Okay, I say I love you, but I'm not exhibiting love because I'm having these other demonstrations of anger, bitterness, and I keep these walls up to keep you from really knowing me. You understand? Because every time I have a trigger, I shut down. How do you get past that, even as a man or a woman?
I
That's
can't
tough.
speak for a man because I'm all woman, but um, for a woman,
Yeah.
I mean, it
Uh-huh.
can be hard, and also,
Mm-hmm.
growing up, depending what's been
Yeah.
demonstrated within the home with our
Right.
parents or
Right.
our guardians of
Mm-hmm.
how they demonstrated love. So sometimes we
Okay.
carry those traits of love with us into relationships, and it be
Mm-hmm.
toxic, not
Right.
knowing that it's done passed down from generation because we saw somebody love like this, so we felt like this is how we supposed to love. We supposed to
Right.
tolerate certain stuff, and then when you're hurt repeatedly, you kind of just shut down. Like,
Right. Right.
I had, I was single for almost 4 years because I
Yeah.
wasn't ready to commit to somebody, because I wasn't ready
Mm-hmm.
to trust somebody. I wasn't ready
Right.
to give my all. I wasn't ready to commit
Mm-hmm.
to someone. You get what I'm saying? Because
Right.
the
Right. Right.
last time I committed, it hurted me. It broke
Mm-hmm.
me. It tore me down. It made me numb. And I didn't want to feel that feeling again. So yeah, I built up that wall because
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna protect me.
Right.
Nobody's gonna
Right.
love me and protect me how I protect
Mm-hmm.
me. But at the
Right.
end of the day, you have to realize that love don't hurt people. People hurt
That's
people.
right. That's right. That's right.
Love is
That's
supposed to be a beautiful thing. And
right.
if
Mm-hmm.
you look at it like the Bible says, like
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to be this beautiful thing that doesn't keep track. It's not
Mm-hmm.
mean, it's patient, it's all these things. But
Mm-hmm.
people take love and put it however they want to. Like, love isn't supposed to hit you. Love isn't
Right.
supposed to
Right.
hurt you. Love isn't
Right.
supposed to disrespect you. But
Mm-hmm.
people
Mm-hmm.
do that, and they feel
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, this is love, and it's not. So I think
Mm-hmm.
understanding what your definition of true love is, and then
Right.
going
Right.
out there and seeking it and not settling for anything less than what you feel like you
Mm-hmm.
deserve. And then once you see that, and you see that somebody is willing to care for you, willing to show you different things and show you what
Mm-hmm.
love is about, then you kind of slowly open yourself up. It doesn't have to be something that's fast.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but naturally, I think those walls will come down because you will see that this person is trying to love you. Sometimes we run people away when we're
Right.
trying to
Right.
love somebody,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
because we're so afraid of being hurt. But you got to
Okay.
understand, sometimes those people don't come back once you push them away, and they don't
Okay.
come that often. So you got
Mm-hmm.
to make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you keep them when you get them.
Right,
So.
right, right. Now, man, you see, I'm finna get back in this swag and nosy, but I'm gonna leave that alone. You said a mouthful, which is great because you saying that for 4 years you wasn't ready for a relationship. But I also heard at some point when you get to the place you have to understand your worth and your value, and you will not accept anything beneath what you believe love is, and that's very powerful because a lot of people, when you're doing what we do, a lot of people will take those negative situations and that will become their normal. That's what they equate love with, is being beat or cussed out. And because I went to the store the other day, which is a sad state of affairs, and this lady was cussing out her child who was 8 years old, an 8-year-old child. But you say you love him. But then when my mama used to beat me, which was crazy, and she'd tell me to shut up, I'm like, yo, hold on, you just hurt me, man. You telling me to shut up. And then when I
Man,
grew up,
some kids be
yeah, you
bad.
know what I mean. Yeah, then she had the nerve to tell me when I got older, why you don't talk to me. I said, well, I'm confused. You told me when I'm hurting to shut up. So so it was a learned behavior. But now that I'm older, I have come to understand what love is for me, and we have to be open into receiving that. So I applaud you. I'm giving you a lot of applause here. You know, my hand's gonna hurt after a
Thank you.
while. So you're doing a great job, okay? And thank you. So let's talk. We talked about what drives you to assist others is that you love people, and you can't lead them if you don't love them, and you can't save them if you don't serve them. So you have, sounds like to me, you have a heart of a servant. Where did that come from? After everything that you've been through, how did you transition from what you've been through to become a servant?
You said a server.
A servant.
Like I said, the perk is
Mm-hmm.
it's not for me. You have to learn to be
Mm-hmm.
selfless. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It was a
Mm-hmm.
point in time where I needed other people shoulders to lean on and to cry on, and
Okay.
I know that feeling, and it's not a good feeling. So like,
Mm-hmm.
some people turn their back after a while because they get tired of hearing the same sad story.
Mm-hmm.
I got tired of hearing the same sad story, whether it was
Yeah.
about love life or whether it was about just my personal life in general. um,
Mm-hmm.
at some point you just say I got to make a change, so just
Right.
encouraging those people. And a lot of people don't have the support. um,
Mm-hmm.
they don't have people in their corner, so
Mm-hmm.
when we do the life coaching, I become your number one fan. I become your coach.
Right.
I become that person that
Mm-hmm.
cheered you on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the one who tell you can do it, so it's like, it's just, I don't know, it's just a natural thing, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And you've been doing this for 11 solid years, which is great, Savon. And so we're going to switch just a little bit. It's along the same vein because now we're going to stay with your business aspect. What is your mission for Savon Speaks?
What is my agenda?
Your agenda, mission, whatever. Yeah,
Oh,
what
okay.
mission? Yeah, yeah.
So for Savon Speaks itself,
Mm-hmm.
is for women who is facing adversity and setbacks in their
Mm-hmm.
lives, and to help give them a blueprint of, a lot of women have been through similar situations like
Mm-hmm.
them.
Mm-hmm.
But some people don't know how to get out of it. So if you
Okay.
see an image that looks like you,
Mm-hmm.
that has been through similar things, that can be
Mm-hmm.
a blueprint for another woman to say, oh, if she did it, I can do it. I know I
Mm-hmm.
can do it if she did it.
Right.
So it gives
Mm.
them a starting point, or help them map out, okay, well, I'm gonna get started today. She was going through,
Okay.
okay, she's been raped before. She went to
Mm-hmm.
counseling. That's how it helped her. Or she's
Okay.
dealing with a mental illness and she started eating different and exercising and
Mm-hmm.
journaling. So let me try to
Mm-hmm.
see that, to see if that works for me. It's always different ways to get to a destination. So with
Right.
Savon Speaks, I have successful women. And when I talk about successful women, I'm not talking about their money, their cars, or whatever material things they have, but successful in the point of, they were going through something, they set a goal and they got out of it. And
Mm-hmm.
not saying anyone's life is perfect, because nobody's life is
Right.
perfect,
Mm-hmm.
but we all have an expertise in a certain area that we're
Mm-hmm.
able to master. So why not help somebody else who's
Okay.
going through something similar get through it?
Now that's
If that
that's
makes sense.
that's that's very powerful because you're becoming a life coach, but you're assisting someone to reach their goals, but you're giving them a blueprint on how to do it. Now we're talking about service and serving people, right? And that's very powerful within itself. So let's just talk about just for a moment what made you decide to become a life coach, and what is the procedure to become a life coach, just in case someone else would like to pursue that as well. But I'm going to ask you another question for that as well. I notice you have a picture on your social media with a little girl looking in the mirror,
Hmm.
and she doesn't see the little girl. She sees herself growing up and being successful. So
Right.
tell us about the first question, and then hit the last question after you do the first question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the life coaching is
Mm-hmm.
called Becoming Her Life Coaching Academy, with her
Okay.
being heroic, empowered, and redefined.
Okay.
Um, I've been certified for 2.5 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went through a course to get certified. I know plenty of life coaches who don't have a certification. I
Mm-hmm.
chose to get one for my own personal
Right.
reasons.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, like, you can do a course, get certified, and
Mm-hmm.
for life coaching, it's whatever you've been through that you excel, that you were able to
Mm-hmm.
get through, that you feel like you have a plan to help somebody else get through. You can coach somebody else through. A lot of us do coaching every day and don't realize
Right.
it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So, I
Right.
mean, I'm sure you got a buddy that probably call you up and, hey, how you do this or how you do that, and that you guide them along the way.
Right. Right.
Um, as far as the picture, the image,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
the young lady is actually the face, one of the faces of Becoming Her, because it shows a young girl who
Mm-hmm.
is looking in the mirror at her older self, and the older self
Yeah.
looking back at the younger
Mm-hmm.
self and showing her how far they have come. The younger person is probably like, we done been through everything. We done been through the molestation. We done been through the rape. We done been through the heartbreaks. We done been through, me telling myself I can't do it, or,
Right.
just giving yourself permission, and the older person looking back and saying like, I'm sorry. I accept accountability for not telling people, I was molested or whatever the situation may be, but look at me now.
Right.
I've
Right. Right.
overcome my biggest fears. I put faith over fear, and now I'm here. So like, oh, I got bars. But
She said she got
I'm
bars,
just
y'all.
saying. But yeah, so
So we're gonna get ready for our next album. Savon sings, man. So she's speaking now, but she's gonna be singing later on. So
yep,
Savon, it
yep.
sounds like to me where we have to get rid of this thinking that fear has us hostage, but understand that we have fear hostage and we have to let it go. Because so many people say that fear has them hostage, but that's not true. Because fear can't hold you hostage, but you hold fear hostage because of things that we put in the way, barriers. So what you just said the young lady did, she says, listen, man, check this out. I've been molested. I've been this, that, and the third. I got to let it go because I see my future is much more brighter than my past. And my current is pushing me towards my future. So I got to let fear go so I can be all that I can be. That was very powerful, Savannah. That's what you was doing in the mirror?
Yeah, I was looking back at
Yeah.
like the man in
Yeah.
the mirror, but the woman in the mirror. I'm looking back, and I'm
Yeah.
all grown up now.
Mm-hmm. And because when I looked at it, I was like, wow, this is very powerful because I never forget going through my transition, and I try not to talk about me too much in doing interviews because it's not about me, it's about my guests. But I never forget my baby sister told me something, and this is crazy. When I was on drugs, man, I was looking in the mirror, so I thought, I really did, man. And she said, bro, I said, yeah, what's up? She said, man, look in that mirror for real, for real. I said, man, I look in the mirror every day, which I did, but I wasn't looking at my imperfections or my shortcomings because I was trying to justify my behavior because I didn't really want to look at me. Can you imagine me having jaws like the Pink Panther? I was getting high so much, I was so skinny, eyes just as big. And when she said that, I said, man, this ain't you, bro. And that
Yeah.
sounds like what you're saying with this young lady when she went through everything that she went through, had to make a conscious decision and say, this is not me. These things happen, but it's
Yeah.
really not me. So
And you
you
have to
say
look in
greater.
the in
Yeah.
the I'm sorry,
Mm-hmm.
you
Mm-hmm.
you have to look
You're
in the
fine.
mirror,
Go
and you
ahead.
have to ask yourself, who am I?
Mm-hmm.
And
Right.
tell yourself who you are. Don't let other people
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
define who you are.
Right.
That's easy to happen. And even
Mm-hmm.
with your
Right.
perfections and your brokenness, you are still beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Put
Mm-hmm.
them
Mm-hmm.
pieces together, even with the cracks, the holes, you are still
Right.
beautiful. So it doesn't matter. That doesn't define you. You know what I'm saying? And it's
Oh,
not about where,
yeah.
and this is cliche, everybody say it, but it's not
Mm-hmm.
about where you start. It's about how you finish.
How
You
you
know what I'm
finish?
saying?
Well, yeah.
So
You
like,
got some more. Yeah.
even looking in the
No, go ahead. I'm
mirror.
sorry. Go ahead. Go. I'm gonna let you
No, I'm
finish. Go
sorry.
ahead. You're
Like,
fine.
even like when my pastor, he would say like, a lot of people read the Bible, but they don't read the
Mm-hmm.
Bible. Like, you don't read
Mm-hmm.
it to understand a lot of
Right.
people. So if you don't understand
Mm-hmm.
something, how can you apply it to your life? So when you're
Right.
looking in the mirror and you just see the reflection looking back at you, and you're not really
Mm-hmm.
understanding what's looking back at you, how can you make any changes if you don't
That's
see
true.
anything wrong? If
Mm-hmm.
you look in the mirror, you see all your flaws, you see what
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
other people have told you you are. That's not who you are. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you look in that mirror,
Mm-hmm.
you ask yourself, who am I? And you tell yourself, I'm Savon, I'm a nurse, I'm a woman, I'm a
Mm-hmm.
caring woman, I'm a,
Mm-hmm.
God fearing woman, even though, some
Okay.
people probably don't agree. I curse
Mm-hmm.
here and there. I'm not perfect. I sin,
You curse about you almost
but
made me
I'm
choke.
not perfect. But I try
You
to
made me
be
choke, man.
I try to be the best version of myself that I can be
Okay.
every day.
All right. I got a comment here. This lady name is Lavette Ingram. You don't know her, but I know her. That's my sister. And she says, so true. Know who you are. You just touched my sister Lavette. How you doing? I gave you a shout out,
Hi,
baby.
Miss Levette.
And so I want to thank you about that. Thank you for that. But let's talk about because When you're going through the transit, Savon, I can talk all day, man. I got so much information running around up here, it's just crazy. Let's talk about this because if you're not careful making the transition from trauma to being successful, you can get caught up into sub personalities and subgroups because you still don't want to deal with the identity and you still don't know who your true identity is as a person. So you get these sub personalities. I'm so intellectual. I'm so smart. I accomplish so much because I don't want to deal with the true self. Or I laugh a lot, I joke a lot, but then I can go into a subgroup, which can be family, getting to the church. You know what I mean? So how did you not get caught up? How did you really find out who Savon Holt really was without getting caught up in sub-personalities and subgroups? Because a lot of people do it and don't even realize they're doing it because some of them don't know what subgroups and sub-personalities are.
But it's called self-discovery.
Self-discovery.
You have to be okay with spending time by yourself.
Okay.
I'm always by myself, majority of the time.
Mm-hmm,
so, like, you have to identify the problem.
Right.
You can't fix nothing if you don't know what the problem is. And you can't just say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Because some things are broke. You just overlook it. It probably have a little crack in it. But you got to identify what the problem is before you can do anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just work from there. Like, okay, this is the problem. Okay, how do we fix the problem? We come up with strategies on how we get to that, the person that you want to be. You can't expect new results working from your old self. You're not gonna get that.
Mm-hmm. Well, that sounds like a good thing right there. It sounds like you know what you're talking about. Can I come to your class?
It's for women.
Hey man, we was talking about this, you guys, a little bit earlier, and I told her I was going to ask this question: why is it so centered just for women, and the men are excluded?
I never been a man. I don't know what men go through. I speak from a woman's point of view. See, there goes those bars again. But I speak from a woman's point of view, and not just that, but I don't want it to be unprofessional. I want to be comfortable.
I got you. I got you. Right.
Sometimes people have different motives. So I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to make nobody else uncomfortable. I don't want nobody to be misled or get the wrong idea. So I keep it where I feel safe and everybody cool.
I got you. I like that because see now I get a better understanding. I don't feel some kind of weight. Because it makes a lot of sense because you're talking about very sensitive.
There's a lot of men out here that's doing their things. I'm quick to tell another man, like, hey, I'll connect you with somebody that's, that can look out for you and talk to you and stuff like that. So, like, I think a man should get advice from a man.
Yeah, without that distraction, because it can be distraction on both ways. Because when you're looking to, but I'm sorry. In closing, Savon, you're working as an entrepreneur, pursuing your vision and your purpose and your goals. But what is it like being a woman in a male-dominant world? I'm quite sure you hear a lot of things and people look at you and try to take advantage of you because you're a woman, believing. Now, you understand, believing, not saying that you are, believing that women are a weaker vessel. How do you deal with that as far as being an entrepreneur and in the business world?
Well, the world is nothing without a woman or a girl. James Brown said that. So, with that being said, I mean, for women, though, I mean, we just have to stand our ground, be firm, say what we mean what we say, and don't back down because it's a man or because whatever, somebody trying to intimidate us. Just stand up for ourselves. Make sure that our voices are heard. Don't change yourself to fit in. Just do you. People going to either accept you or they're going to go the other way. If they go the other way, they're not bothering you. You're not bothering them.
Right.
Everybody live happily ever after, So.
Okay. That sounds good. Now, I want people to know, where can they reach Miss Savon Holt, the entrepreneur, life coach? How can they reach you?
I have a website called savonspeaks.com. You could go on there and fill out a form. Or you can email me at savonspeaks@gmail.com. And I'll get back in touch with you.
Well, let's talk about this book. How can they get your book? The same way? Do you have it laying around? Please show the book. There it is, y'all. My truth. Tell them about it.
So
Where can
my
they
book
get it?
can be purchased on Amazon. It is a five
Okay.
star book for a 5-star chick. No, I'm just playing. But it's a 5-star book. It can be purchased on Amazon. Also can be
Okay.
purchased on my website at savonspeaks.com. This
Mm.
book, a lot of people have, and this is no exaggeration, have said that this book
Okay.
has inspired them, encouraged them, and motivated them.
Mm.
And for me, that is serving its purpose. The reason why I wrote the book. So
Okay.
please, 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 if you're going through something, if you just need a word of encouragement, it talks about that, my spiritual journey, everything.
Mm-hmm.
So purchase this book. Good for the
Okay, so
soul.
now they would go to your Savon speak social media platform to even if they want to book you as well, right? For booking
Well, on the
engagements and
Savon
things of that nature.
Speaks platform is just more
Mm.
on the Instagram. It's just more of updating people on upcoming
Mm.
shows or
Okay.
motivation, sending out words of motivation. And on the Savon Speaks Facebook, it has the like my shows on there. If you ever want to
Okay.
catch a show with some of the amazing women that I have spoke to, I have talked about
Mm-hmm.
domestic violence, mental health, um,
Okay.
rape, molesting, everything you name it. So if you want
Okay.
to go on there and be encouraged and inspired,
Okay. Now, Savannah, do you do actual workshops as a life coach? How would they get in contact with you for that?
I can. I haven't done one yet, but I can.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Just contact me
Mm-hmm.
through dot
Okay.
com or savonspeaks at gmail.com. And send
Okay.
me an email, and I got
Mm-hmm.
you.
All right, she got y'all. We about to wrap this up, but before we go off of Level Up, I want Savon to speak to the viewing audience and just give them some words of encouragement before we go. This is a great guest, guys. Savon, Holt, life coach and author. She's fabulous, y'all. Give her some words, Savon. Please sing us some bars.
Nah, I would just say know what you want to do and
Mm-hmm.
go for it. Don't let nobody stop you. A lot of people gonna say no, but it's okay. Keep
Mm-hmm.
going. Doors are gonna shut, but it's gonna be a door that's gonna always open. Don't feel discouraged. It's times where you might feel overwhelmed. You might feel like, God, I'm a parent. I don't know what to do. It's
Mm-hmm.
okay to have self care. Take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Put out a day for
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Set aside a day for yourself, and just pamper yourself. Because salute
Okay.
yourself, even for the small
Mm-hmm.
steps that you take. Um, Congratulate yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back. Give yourself grace.
Mm-hmm.
I will also say, don't be afraid to go after your dream, no matter what people gonna say. People gonna talk about you,
Mm-hmm.
whether you doing good or you doing bad. I'd rather people talk
Mm-hmm.
about me while I'm doing good. Um,
Amen.
Make sure that you surround yourself around people that add value to you.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't, leave them where they at. Sometimes you got to change your
Mm-hmm.
environment. Sometimes you got to detox, and that's detoxing the
Mm-hmm.
people out of your life. Sometimes you got to shed
Mm-hmm.
that weight. It's not always in the gym. Sometimes it's just shedding those people out of your life that's pulling you down, pulling you back.
Mm-hmm.
And just stay focused. Whatever you say you're going to do it. Consistency is key.
Mm-hmm.
And if you need to holler at me, hit me up.
Hey, I got another family member on here. I know them a shout out. We superstars, we television stars. They don't know this stuff is just recorded, right? So check it out. My niece said to me, Jay Ingram, which is my sister's daughter. Hey Jay, how you doing? She said, good show. She really enjoyed you, Savon.
Oh,
So
thank
keep on
you.
doing. Yeah, man, we got to give them a shout out every now and then, every now and then. But here's something for you. I want to give you this words of encouragement. You keep doing what you're doing because people are watching, even though you don't even know they're watching. I was talking to a friend the other day,
Someone's
and he
always
just
watching.
retired from the police department,
Hmm.
and they got over 704 comments I say you got more comments than that you don't even know about, because those 704 people that commented talk to somebody else about who you are. And then
Right.
those people that they talk to somebody else about who you are, and it just keeps on going. So we can't go by what we, because so many people get caught up on comments. Oh man, I only got
Yeah.
17 followers. You got way more than that. Because you never knew I was watching what you was doing. Because guess what, Savon? You helped me, and I'm a man.
I know a lot of
Come,
men said my book
come,
helped them or they was inspired. So I respect
yeah.
that. Thank you.
Had me spend some level up, trying to level up, y'all. So thank you. All right,
You're
guys, we
welcome.
want to thank Savon Holt for coming to the show. My name
Thank
is
you for
Wayman
having
Daniels,
me.
the host of Level Up. You're welcome. But Savon, guess who we got next week?
Ooh.
Guys, we got Richard McCullough, the CEO of Marius Media. Yes,
All
Richard
right.
McCullough. Yeah, we gonna moving on up like the Jeffersons. And he's gonna talk about his business, being the CEO and president, and we're gonna talk about how he got to where he's at. So we look
Okay.
forward to next week. Savon, thank you again next week.
You're
Richard McCullough,
welcome.
my name is Wayman Daniels, your host with Level Up. Say peace, Savon, peace.
Peace.
Thank you, Mama. All right, let's see. Okay.